All right. Hello everyone, and welcome to the live stream. I hope everyone is doing pretty well. I see a couple people already joined, so thank you all for joining. Who joined right now? It's really awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to be doing showing off Settlement Survival full release. It just came out not too long ago, so I'm going to be doing a new playthrough and show off how I start my settlement and hopefully answering some questions along the way. So I'm really excited to do this. So let's get started. So new game, and so this time I'm just gonna do a normal playthrough. I know my last stream I did extreme difficulty, but it's gonna be a little casual on this one, just normal, nothing too crazy. The only thing I am gonna be changing right now out of these difficulty settings is the add-on structures right here. I'm just gonna remove them because I have my own layout that I like to do, so I don't really need the extra structures. And one more thing I'm going to do is I have a preset map seed that I'm going to be using. I thought was pretty nice. And I will be typing that in right here. And I'm just going to change the city name to the map seed. So if you want, you can actually type in the seed and follow along with me if you like. So the map seed is going to be 3, 5, 5, 8, 5, 6, 7, 7, 0. So that's not 7, 7, 0. There's a 6, 7, 0. Let me double check that. So 3, 5, 5. I put a third 5. 8, 5, 6, 0. There we go. That should be the correct seed. I'm gonna copy that real quick and put that on the town name so you guys can see that later on. The only thing I do suggest if you're gonna follow with me is on map side, change it from medium to large, and lake sides also from medium to large, so it can look exactly like mine. So let's get started. I like how they changed the loading screen right there. I actually haven't seen that before. It's also a cute pumpkin one for the event. So this is a map I chose. I really like it because my favorite seeds are the ones with where the lake is integrated in the river. Really creates a nice looking bay for your trading ship. So kind of like that. It's like a little trading center here. And it has some good space, so that's gonna be for trading. And here's an open area for some farming and stuff. One thing though, if you do follow along with me, the only thing that's not going to be the same on your playthrough are these resource points. These are the only things that shuffle every time you start a game, regardless if you use the same seed. The seed only determines the terrain, but the random resource points, like the fertile soil and the animal cubs, those will change every time. And I guess I got pretty lucky because on this one, there is 2 animal cubs, which what that means is if my hunters were to capture these creatures, it's a guaranteed capture. And there's a flock of geese here, and 2 flocks of geese. So I'm probably gonna start off with geese early on. And this icon right here is the plant seed, just like the animal one. If you send your harvesters or like your laborers, sorry, if you send your laborers to go gather plants in this area, you will also get a guaranteed seed. So there's a fertile soil point here. I'm gonna ignore it for now. I don't really focus on these just because I like my own layouts. Plus, they go away over a couple years anyways. But there is a way you can get them back on your own. So let's go ahead and get started. I think right here is gonna be a good spot. So first thing I like to do is pause the game from the very beginning. Let's move some of this stuff away. This is like the tutorial guides. The first one it wants me to do is build a couple houses, so I'm just gonna build this. And I don't know how many it takes, but it finally goes away. I think it was moved to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now it went away. It's really annoying that's a thing there. I just did that just to get rid of it. So for 2 houses right here, just in the beginning, because in the beginning it's the game always starts when it's a little cold here, so they're gonna build those first, just to get warm. Before I unpause the game, let me explain this little icon here. At the very start of your game, on the first year, you will have a gathering bonus. As it says right here, early game gathering bonus will be granted an extra 100% gathering efficiency. So basically, what that means, from what I can tell, is when you start sending your laborers to gather resources, on the first year they'll gather double the amount, which I think is a really good idea to have in your first year. And so the things I'd like to gather first is so I just did hide all on the trees. You can hide the trees with this icon right here. Or for me, I changed the hotkey. It's U, but it should be defaulted to H to hide the trees. So the first things I like to gather are the rocks, because rocks are actually very limited, and that includes stone and iron. They're pretty limited because in order to get some more, you're going to need a quarry or a mine. And once you place those down, it's a permanent structure. And personally, I don't like placing mines and quarries like early in the game. You're not going to see me place them in this stream. You can actually get by pretty far with just gathering stones and iron and trade. So in the first year, I take advantage of the bonus gathering, so I can get as much stone and trade as much stone and ore and not run out. So I think that's a decent amount of stone. What else? What else do I like to do before I start? I think I'm gonna unpause it real quick. They can just get started. The next thing I'd like to build are the farms, because by March is the sowing season. So the second thing I like to get started is the farms, if I can find it. Agriculture. I like to do standard fields. Those are defaulted 8x8 structures. I'm going to build my farms on this direction. So what I'm going to do is to get the most out of the coverage zone of the marketplace. This coverage zone is where you're allowed to place houses. Houses have to go in there, can't be placed outside. So I'm gonna keep all my houses in here and all my production and resource buildings outside the zone. So I'm just gonna put like 2 houses here, skip 1 row for road, just to get like a feel of the layout right away. And what you can always do is, I don't want to build these right away. It's just so I have like a reference point. These houses, you can press the pause button here to pause the construction. So they're not going to construct these just yet. I'm just planning ahead of time. Then I'm going to build standard farm. Skip 1 row for the road. There you go. I'll do 2. Another thing I like to give my farms is a storage yard. Storage yard is a place where your settlers will put down items and resources. So I like to have a storage yard right next to the farms, so when it's time for them to harvest, they don't have to walk far to drop off all the vegetables they're gathering. So they just harvest the vegetables, drop it off on their goods, and then return to work and gather some more. So it's a very efficient process. I'm gonna lay out a couple roads just to get this layout going. All right, unpause it again. Okay. And now that the houses are built, this one's also done. We're gonna do pumpkins on the farms, on the fields. So at the time of this recording, there's the Halloween event, the Halloween event. And on this one, the pumpkin seeds actually have double yields. So normally pumpkins would give 9, but for this event, they're going to be giving 18. So we're definitely going to be doing that. It's really awesome that they did that. So right now, pumpkins are an awesome thing to start with. And you're also guaranteed to start the game with pumpkins too. So you're guaranteed pumpkins and double output. Let's unpause some of these houses so they can get working on those. And this structure right here has the builder's cabin. Let's add one more worker. Give 4 people. That way it's more people to build the houses. Make this a little faster. My laborers are gathering stone. I'm also going to mark this area to gather plants so they can get the guaranteed seed. And then soon I'm going to build, there it is, new seed acquired. Actually, I think they got that on their own. This seed marker is still there, so that they probably got that seed without that. So I'm probably gonna get a second one. Let me see what I got. Peas. So peas. Actually, let me see here. So normally, since the pumpkins give 9 yield, the peas actually give 18, and that's always like that. So for this event, they're making pumpkin seeds yield the same amount of peas. And vegetables, as you can see, harvest period is 80 days. The pumpkin seeds grow and can be collected a lot sooner than peas. The harvest period is 125 days. So right now, pumpkins are very powerful. But under other circumstances, like when the event goes away, you're going to want peas instead. Even though they take a little longer to harvest, it does yield a lot higher. A little slow here. I think they're almost done with the gathering the rocks. They still haven't picked up the seeds. They'll get to it eventually. Alright, now that the fields are set up, another thing I want to get started is the forester hut. We're going to need trees for fuel to be chopped into a chopping domestic fuel. So we're gonna need the chopping house, but that needs trees. So same thing as what I did with the fields. I'm gonna build a couple houses first. Do one more thing. Since I already have like a preferred layout, I like to build my chapel here, right next to the marketplace. So the covered zone gets most of this. I'm gonna pause on this real quick, but just keep it there. And then continue building more houses. Okay. And then I'm also gonna give this side a storage yard. So when I start cutting down the trees that the forester hut produces, they'll have a nearby storage to put all the timber in. Now lastly, I'm going to get the forester hut. Line that up to that row. Oh, right there is fine. Add a road to connect it. Pause these real quick. Okay. So the first year is all about like setting up the basic resources. I'm also going to need a well. So you're going to need a field for food, forester hut for trees, a big well for water, a hunter's hut to capture some animals, and there it is, new seed acquired. They finally got it. I'm gonna send them to get some more rocks in the meantime. The laborers, now that they've collected everything I've told them to collect, so they can do that. Yeah, they collected everything. So, order of operations, first is going to be the forester hut, then these houses, and then I'm going to go to the hunter's hut, and I'm going to place that like near this point so they can capture that animal a little faster. Put a road down here. Just realized I didn't put one. The roads will be constructed once all the buildings are done. It's the game prioritizes structures and then roads. Hello, Mike. 161. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining. Houses are being built. Still haven't got started my forester hut. I'll get started and start telling them to get this animal. So, hunter's hut. Gonna quickly put it right here. You're doing fine. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. Do you happen to also own Settlement Survival, or still thinking about getting it? They used to look cartoony. Mike mentioned that he saw that on the dev blogs that the character portraits look cartoony. They did it for a while until the community complained that they didn't like the cartoony look, and then they reverted them back to the old style, which I'm really glad they did that. Alright, the forester hut's built. One thing I want to mention about the forester's hut, I think is really important. On the bottom here, there's two modes, fell trees and plant trees. Having yes on both means that they will both cut down trees, and they will also plant new trees. My preferred style of doing this is I like to turn off fell trees. That way they can all prioritize planting trees only. And then like once I notice that like a lot of the trees have like fully matured and it's like a dense forest, I send my laborers to cut down the trees. So, but that's just me. If you want like, that's a little micromanaging on my part, but if you want like more automated system, you can always select felled trees, and the forester huts will also cut them down for you. So now that's done. Hunter's hut, that's being built right now. The next thing I like to do is the chopping house. We're gonna need that for domestic fuel since we're running low. And I like to build my chopping house right next to the storage yard next to the forester hut. So I was like, I like thinking about this like logistically speaking, you know, just I like having things close to each other, so the production gets done faster. For example, if the trees are going to be cut down here, they will be transported to the storage yard, and then the people working at the chopping house, when they need the timber that was cut down, they have the storage yard right next to them, and then they can quickly get to work. So, Lady Overwatch followed me. Thank you for the follow. Is one big troll asked, "Is it good to have them plant only and let the gatherer's hut be nearby?" Other people do that. So when you let let me unhide the trees real quick. When you had, yeah. So when the trees mature, they also they grow plants around them. So what some people like to do is have a forester hut combined with the gatherer hut. So the gatherers here will be collecting all the plants that that the dense forest was producing, because it does produce a lot. Like, you will see that later in this playthrough. Again, I like to do things manually. I like the micromanagement part. That's me. But again, a good way to like have this more automated is when this has a dense forest, have a gatherer's hut right next to it, and then the gatherers will collect all of the plants around, which is actually a really good way to gather herbs. Even though herbs now function slightly different, you still need them for medicinal purposes. Mike asked, what happened to the Wonders? I'm pretty sure they are referring to the blueprint buildings. There used to be a lot more Wonder buildings here. They are now all moved as blueprints at the merchant ship, the one that travels here. All of those are now as blueprints where you're gonna have to purchase with silver, which kind of sucks, but I guess it didn't make sense to have some of those like at the very start of the game. So I'm just neutral about that change. I'm glad you're excited to see a 1.0 playthrough, Lady Overwatch. Thank you. The first years are always the slowest. Alright, so the Gatherer's Hut, or the Hunter's Hut, there's so many huts. The Hunter's Hut was built. What I'm gonna do here, to speed up the process to catch this animal, I'm gonna give it the max laborers of 3, or the max workers of 3. 3 hunters. That's not gonna guarantee that they're gonna catch them right away, as we all play this game. They're kind of dumb sometimes, so hopefully they catch it right away. If not, that happens. It's annoying. So hopefully they can catch that as soon as possible. So that's complete. Chopping house is being built. What else do I need? So I got the fields. Orchards come later. Pastures once they get that animal. Oh, I haven't done the well yet. So let's do the well. Tailor and smithy, that's to make more clothes and to make more tools. I'm gonna do that in a bit later on, probably on year 2. They have enough clothes to let them survive for about 3 years. The first 3 years, you don't need it just yet. So I'm not gonna build this right away. Let's speed that up. Yeah. Thank you for watching my videos on the YouTube channel, and welcome to the Twitch. I don't stream often, but I like it when I do this every so often. But so thank you. Hopefully I get the idle chicken. If I can get the idle chicken, like, everyone here needs to buy a lotto ticket, because that would be the most rarest thing ever. So I just got the notification that they got the livestock. They got the goose or geese. So nice. I was pretty lucky that they got it right away. I'm going to reduce this number back down to 2. That way I can get my labor back. But since we already caught the animal, I'm also gonna tear this down real quick because I have like another location set for it. I just needed it right there, just so it's close to the animal point. So I'm gonna take that down, and then I'm gonna build the pasture since now that we got the geese or the goose. So on people ask like what size should you have like farms and pastures. So standard farms is 8x8 by default, and they get the job done to plant a good amount and they yield decent amounts, and they're by 8x8. So what I like to do with the pasture is kind of follow a similar technique of keeping it like 8x8. But on pasture, since like it's better to have like more animals, like so the way animals reproduce is the more of an animal you have, like the more likely they are to have offspring. So like when you have just one animal, it's going to take a while to get the second one, and then it's going to be a little faster to go from 2 to 3, but once it gains some momentum, you get more. So larger pastures can hold more animals, which means they can reproduce faster, which means it yields more. So some people like to do full size, but I like to have smaller ones just so it's faster and like it's a lot easier to manage with the workers who are inside. So I'm just gonna do an 8 by 16. So it's kind of like having 2 8x8 pastures or 2 8x8 farms like I have here. So once that gets built, I'll be able to put the geese in there. My logistics video helped me out a lot. I'm really glad. There was not a lot of content regarding the transfer station and the supply station. Oh, now it's called the delivery station. Back then, so I had to make a video on how those work. If you only got one animal, how long is it gonna take to get the second? So, okay, if you're talking about a new animal, that can range without that guaranteed animal point, it can take them like 10-20 years. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, so I have Astrid with me helping me out. She said like, on my worst runs, it took me like 30 years just to get another animal. Like, the RNG on getting an animal is so bad. So I'm gonna have a hunter's hut like down here in this area, since it's gonna be like farming, forest. It's gonna be like my hunting area. So, oh, I didn't even notice I had an injured person. Let's do a clinic real quick. Clinics right here. I'm gonna put in the bottom here, just kind of in the middle of everything. Then start setting up the other houses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause the middle ones. So in case you're wondering why the middle ones are paused, because I like having the houses as close as possible to their work. I haven't even done the topping house. Topping house is finished. Just get them to make some domestic fuel. But yeah, so the house is here. These people who work here, they live here too. And when they need to eat and rest, they don't have to travel very far from work and home. So I like to work from the outside and work my way in. Don't want them walking as much. Once again. Mike asked if health and happiness is easier than before. Yes and no. So, yes, because previously with happiness, you needed a church and alcohol to make them happy, and if you did not have one or the two, your happiness would just completely plummet. Like, everyone was alcoholic. It was really funny. And with herbs, you needed a clinic. I mean, herbs. With health, you needed herbs and a clinic for the health, and if one of them went missing, the health just went down. So now I don't need alcohol to constantly like make them happy, or herbs. I don't really need to collect herbs anymore. As long as they are in the coverage zone of a chapel and a clinic, they'll be fine. Some of the values here, they also changed the punishments. So on the worst ones, from 0 to 50% on happiness is when they'll have criminals. And from 50 to 100, since I'm in between that, it's food consumption. Before, it was I think it was an efficiency reduction. It was more punishing before if you were below the average. So that's the part where it's easier. And same with health. If it's like right now, since it's kind of the yellow area, it's just gonna increase like how often they get fractures and sprains, which isn't too bad. It still doesn't happen as frequent as you think. So right now I feel like the punishments for not keeping these too high, it's not so detrimental. Like before, like if one of those went completely down, like your settlement suffered. Now the part that's harder is look at all of these things you have to worry about now, like clothes, shoes, roads, and a workload all contribute to people's happiness. And on this side, on health, it's their tools, logistic equipment like backpacks, their homes, which most of that makes sense except the tools and the backpacks. For some reason, that affects their health. So there's a lot more factors now that goes into their health. But basically, like, as long as people have their resources and like you start giving them better quality of those resources and tools, like better clothes and better tools, you'll increase their happiness and health along the way. So it's just more in depth. It's both easier and more complicated, I guess, but only they know. Only the devs know the direction, but I think it is better than the previous one. It has more depth, so I think the ups outweigh the down. So resources, let's continue. I want the gathering hut right here, so they can hunt in this area and drop off the meat and all the goods from the storage area. So clinic is on pause because I need the clinic, and then the houses. I'm gonna get a couple more builders to get all of this stuff completed. Talk about being sick of chicken. Yeah. I think the first one I got was geese. Yeah, it was geese, so they're gonna be having geese for a long time. But the hunters will have more variety of meats once they start getting those, and hopefully they can capture another animal. I would love to get a second animal captured by this playthrough. So we're running low on materials, on timber, so let's get all of these trees cut. And we have just enough time before the year ends, so they should be getting a good amount of timber for cutting down all of these trees. But look at that, look how much like stone and ore we got from that, like 700 and 800 stone and iron. That's not bad. It's pretty good. I like how they say trick or treat now for the Halloween event. And if you don't have the candy, they get actually a little sad. Okay, some of my things. Yeah, right there. No candies, boo. I think that's really cute. But the pasture is complete. We're gonna have geese. There you go. Our one goose is now there. And over time, birds reproduce a lot faster than mammals, I guess, in this game. So we'll have 22 geese in no time. The dev said that there would be predators a while back. I didn't catch that. That That'd be interesting to have another layer of danger in the wild. We don't have anything like that yet, but who knows? Maybe in the future we could get something like that. One thing I noticed on this newer 1.0 update is the chopping house and the sawmill, they both don't produce as much domestic fuel as it used to, which is really a bummer. So you're gonna see that message of fuel reserves are low. What I've been doing lately is just using trade to accommodate for that, but a chopping house just with 2 people barely gets like 250 a year, which I know wasn't like that before. It said dangerous wildlife a while back. Yes, I would assume yes that meant predators, dangerous wildlife. That's a good assumption, but a lot of things got delayed and pushed back, so maybe that's just one of them. Hunter's hut is complete. That's 2. Let's reduce the amount of workers. A young lumberjack was tending to the trees around the lumber yard as usual when he found several crooked trees that cannot become proper lumber, even with ongoing care. I like how there's only one option to this. Cut them down, I guess. Okay, I just got free timber, which wasn't a bad idea, but I'm recovering on that. I was telling them to cut down, but that was weird. A event with only one option to do. I don't think I've seen that before. Yes, roadmaps are subject to change. I'm gonna get them to cut some more trees. I'm gonna start completing these tasks so this thing's not in the way anymore. So I got the 7 houses. I got the 2 standard fields. Gotta close the field and reopen it. Build the big well. Build the forester hut. Oh, the gather hut. I'm gonna build the gatherer's hut real quick and then destroy it. I don't really use it. I like to manually send my laborers to gather plants. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so let's get rid of the hunter's hut. That was completed. Now we got the hunters. Chopping house is complete. Repair shop is next. Completing these little tasks. No one's died yet, so that's good. I'm noticing my labor account is a little low. I'm like, do people die? I think my children are just not growing up fast enough. I do need that child labor, yes. This game is all about child labor, isn't it? Especially in the first years. Alright, got the repair shop, but I'm gonna pause it. By year 4, if I don't unpause this, someone please remind me. I always forget to unpause the repair shop. Because we don't need, the buildings are fine, and I need all the laborers I can. Right now, so... What What should I build? Okay, repair shop. Oh, the chapel. Oh yeah, let's finish the chapel. And that's not gonna go away until I plant that there. There we go. Just to get that little... It's a cute llama, but it gets in the way, to be honest. Buffalo did spawn on top. I'm not sure if the buffalo is going to be in... The hunters are in proximity to catch the buffalo. They've been catching a couple things. Alpaca meat. Is infinite water a good strategy? Oh. Not... No, that's just me forgetting to put a... Not put a production limit. 500. Yeah, Astro does the infinite water and just sell off the excess water. I mean, like, so you can sell anything. So I think that, yeah, you can do that. You can have infinite water and just keep it going and just sell it for quick silver. But otherwise, if you just let that go, your stockpiles are just gonna overflow. Yeah, I like to put a 500 water cap in the beginning. And then as time passes, when there's more demand of water, I increased it probably like 1,000 or 2. The chapel's complete. Planet's complete. And we got our starting tasks. Now I have 6,000 silver coins. And we will be using those soon. On the timeline, our favorite icon, the immigrants are approaching soon. So let's get to town hall. Let's build that. Doing pretty good. After the town hall, I'm going to do the clothing and the tailor and the smithy. I'm also gonna build a couple more houses just so I can get more increase the population. Just 2 for now. I don't want to go too crazy. Don't want to run out of materials on building houses. Hopefully, we can get a traveling merchant sometime soon, now that I got some silver. So I can sell that fancy food off for some big money. Alright, town hall is complete. Immigrants will be accepted. Let's do tailor. Build it right here. And then, so the tailor's gonna go there since hopefully I can be growing flax soon. And the flax is near the farms and the animals. If I get an alpaca, that's gonna be here. Again, keeping everything close together. I can't stress that enough. The tailor will be near all of the raw resources, so they can make clothes. And if I had a quarry or a mine, then I would put the smithy right next to that too. But I don't have that just yet. I just place it right here. They're almost done with all the trees here. More houses. Just for now, I'm gonna remove the blueprints here. These houses kind of distracting me. So that's 12 houses for now. Oh, before I forgot, the interim houses used to be called the apartments. I'm gonna get that built for the immigrants, so they can have a place to live when they first move in. I will be building more houses so they can get out of the apartments and go into the houses, because if you don't know, they can't have kids in these apartments. They can only have kids in a house. I don't want all my immigrants to stay here for too long. Alright, so the tailor's done. Let's get some rough clothes here. Yeah, so Mike said the reason they put industry far away because in other city builders it's not a good thing to have polluting industry next to the houses. This game does not care if people get black lung from all the coal mining. So I wonder pollution would ever be a issue that they add on to this game, but right now it doesn't matter. Like the houses could be next to a smelter. It doesn't affect anything. Smithing. I'm gonna switch to iron tools. Yeah, iron tools. Got plenty of iron and plenty of timber. In the next year, the moment it stops being cold, I'm going to send my laborers. I don't have that many laborers. As soon as I get the immigrants and get more laborers, I'm going to start sending them out to start gathering all of these plants so we can get some more seeds. What Arcane Enigma asks, what do I think of the new UI? It's a love-hate relationship. I like the old one because I think we're all used to it. But I've been playing this for a couple hours now, and I'm slowly starting to like it. I think it's fancy. One thing I don't like that Astrid pointed out, for example, if I do like a house, we don't like how it's kind of sloppy on the borders. We like how the previous one was like very neat. Like even the top interface, it looked like it's ripped. Kind of looked like this was made like in Microsoft Paint, as Astrid says. And like the moment she pointed that out, I can't unsee it. It's like I missed the straight lines. Everything was like nice and neat. But I feel like that's just nitpicking at the end. So it's just preference, I guess. Not everyone is gonna like a direction a game goes, so. Mike said it'd be nice to switch between cartoony and regular portraits. I think that'd be a nice idea to have like in the settings. Be able to change. Someone even suggested to even be able to change between the old style UI, the brown one, and this one. I thought it would be kind of cool to change the color scheme. Because not everyone's gonna like the blue. Personally, I would have done purple. But that would be kind of cool if you can change the color schemes of blue, red, yellow, or whatever, you know, like that should have been an option on the UI. Like some people like the cartoony portraits, and some people prefer the others. It'd be nice to have a choice, you're right. There's another form again. Let's hope RNG blesses us and we get some new seeds. So the way I like to get some new seeds, it's not with a gathering hut, it's by just telling them to just gather everything here. Alright, those are geese. I noticed that there's another animal cub, but we already have geese. So hopefully, we can get some seeds. I really like the art style on this game, like for graphics wise. I really do like how it's kind of boxy and pixely. I think it's kind of cute. And you're right, it's not, I don't like, so I've never played Banished, but I've seen footage of it, and it has a very realistic art style to it, and I actually don't like that. I like this stylized almost like comic, like a little like comic style, because it's very cartoony. Now I feel like if I like the cartoony buildings, then I shouldn't have a problem with the cartoony portraits. I feel a little hypocritical there, but no, I do like the colors and this over more realism. But at the end, yes, gameplay is the most important part. So immigrants are going to arrive soon. Oh, I got another livestock? Ah, thanks for telling me, Astrid. Wow, we got turkey. That... Okay. Year 3. I got another animal in year 3 with just 2 hunters. With 2 hunters. Like, it was actually really good RNG. I did not expect me to get another one by year 3. So, if you ever wonder how long it takes to get another animal, I guess it's from 3 years to 30 years. There's no in between. Oh, you can see the immigrants walking in. Real quick, let's do... Yeah, then when the immigrants used to walk over water, I do remember that. So let's build a second pasture for the, Oh, that's an orchard. A pasture. Let's build a pasture for the turkey. Let's expand that this way. And let's accept the people. 11 immigrants. Oh, and we get a advisor or administrator for reaching 50 people. Alright. Arlene does efficiency of processing structures. Max thirst. I think that's an easy one. Processing efficiency. Basically, I think that means processing structures like it's a chopping house. Tailors will be like 20% faster or something. Even though all processing. Even though it doesn't reflect it here, I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but I'm just gonna go with it and hope that it actually does have a benefit. Okay. So now we got some immigrants. So got a lot of labor, so I didn't get a see, so we're going to send them deeper. Oh, a big tree. When you see that, you can either cut it down for timber or move it somewhere else. So I'm just gonna cut it down. A significant amount of wood was obtained after the tree was chopped down, but because of the ecosystem was also damaged, it caused the trees and settlement to grow slower. I've never noticed it actually do that, so I don't care. A 62 was not a lot though. 62 is not a lot of timber. Alright. It really is hard to quantify how much wood comes out. That tree looked like it held a little bit more than just 62, but whatever. Alright, so now they got people. Another thing we have to do every time your settlement expands, don't forget, add more food, add more farms. So I'm gonna do another standard field. A rule of thumb that I do on normal difficulties, I like to do 1 standard field for every 20 people. It's not a flawless. If it doesn't work, it's roughly 20 people. So like, we're above 40. So like, to accommodate for like 60 people, I'm gonna have 3 standard fields. On extreme difficulty, however, I do 1 field for every 15 because the yields are different. The yields are a lot less, so always keep an eye on your population. As that grows, so should your production of food. Pasture is finished. So now that we have turkeys, that's fine. Turkeys are awesome because they actually produce a lot of food. Every time their maturity rate is pretty fast, and they drop like 20 each. So our settlement's gonna be good for a while. If I got alpacas, that would have been nice too. Yeah, beggars can be choosers. Hopefully, the hunters get something else. I have 11 laborers. Where else should I put them? I think I can remove one from the builder's cabin. Maybe what I on the other thing hired. On higher difficulties, you start from scratch, like the old patches. I'm not sure what it does from default. Like maybe default extreme difficulty, it makes you start from scratch as well. But you can always adjust the smaller settings on the difficulty settings. So like, you know, all of this stuff, like you can put preset extreme, and then if you want, if you don't want to start from scratch, I'm assuming you're talking about the add-on structures. You can always change the add-on structures back to highlight the extra ones to start with, even though you select it as extreme. Anytime you change the settings here, the preset goes to custom. So I'm not sure if that's what you meant by starting from scratch, like the old patches. Let me know if I'm wrong. We're gonna need some more timber. Just to be safe. I know my past streams I've been a little more careless about my timber production. So 8 people live in the interim houses. What I'm gonna do, because I want more people, I'm going to expand the houses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be enough to house everybody here. If not, I'm gonna add more. I got a new seed apparently. We got flax. Actually, it's a really good thing we got flax. We can use flax and process that into linen, and then linen will have a supply. Because as you can tell, like right now we ran out of cloth materials, so I'm gonna go ahead and do another field. This one's gonna be for flax. I haven't unlocked any. I mean, you have nothing but a market. Yeah. And that's all you need. All you need is to start with a market. So I haven't unlocked any tech yet, which I'm going to do that right now. So my first techs that I like to unlock is, first one is delivery. Speaking of the marketplace, delivery tech, what that does is the vendors here, they will now deliver the resources inside the marketplace to houses, instead of when people in this house, when they run out of food, they would have to go to the marketplace, get the food, and bring it back. Now, the vendors themselves will deliver goods to the houses whenever they're low on inventory. That way the workers in the house can remain working. So that's one of my favorite ones too. It's a very small passive buff, but it's actually really powerful. Another one I like to do for construction is material recycling. Anytime I take something down, I want the materials back. And since we just got flax and I want to turn that to linen, I am going to go to processing, weaving, and I'm going to unlock the textile mill so we can get the flax and turn it to linen, and then our tailors can use that. So let's activate that now. Textile mill. Let's put it right next to the tailor. Unpause the game. Oh, speed it up. So we already have 2 turkeys, and yeah, by year 3, the geese already at max capacity at 22. From what you see, the tech tree is less branchy. I feel like the directions haven't changed, just the art style changed, so maybe it gives the illusion that it's less branchy. But for the most part, they look the same. To me, at least. I don't know, I could be wrong. Yeah, trading is... yeah, it's pretty, It is pretty branchy because for Caravan Remodel, you do need travel light and large trading posts just to unlock that. So it does branch off a little. Alright, so our flax field. Autosave. Alright. Then I got flax. Let's do that. I'm surprised the traveling merchant has not arrived yet. I am waiting for him. Soon. He'll be here soon enough. It's just year 3. Gotta be patient. Fuel reserves are low. It's always low. I guess what I could do is I could upgrade that. So let's spend another tech point. That'll be under construction, sawmill. And let's upgrade that. Before, I didn't upgrade to the sawmill much later in the game, but it does feel like they nerfed it. I haven't gone back to the previous versions to like double check. So far we're good. No shortages of anything just yet. We got 2 animals. Got another seed. People are not freezing to death. Oh my god, look at that. Another livestock. A buffalo. That was buffalo. Wow. That's amazing. So buffalo is really good for leather. Well, now we have leather production. Yeah, you're right. Astrid is right. She just said like now that I have leather, I'm going to be able to do down jackets. Yes, thank you. Down jackets, which is the step above rough clothes. And yeah, because that requires like leather and something else. It's leather and wool or flax and wool. So nice. Alright. So linen, yeah, sorry. So the textile mill is complete. I'm gonna pause it real quick because we don't have any flax yet. But we will set it to flax. And once we get flax on the next year, we will start production of this. Oh, this is complete. Domestic fuel. Get 3 people. 8 laborers. Oh, year 4, I almost forgot. Let's put the repair shop open. Glad I didn't forget. Don't want my buildings to like start falling apart. I'm like, oh no, I forgot to employ someone here. There's still 3 people living in the apartment. I'm going to, now that the pasture is complete, buffalo. This is a really lucky start. I'm loving this. I got buffalo. So one little thing I like to do is, so animals don't need to be employed for them to reproduce. So some animals like buffaloes, pasture, sorry. So animals like buffalo, they take a long time to reproduce. So what I'm going to do is just pause this so I can get my laborers back, because I'm not using poop for anything, because that's the only thing they will be collecting. And they won't slaughter anything until the current number goes higher than the max capacity. And it actually might take a couple years just for the buffaloes to get to 11. So until that happens, I'm gonna have to check it periodically to see how this is going. Once it's at 11, I'm going to employ them so they can start slaughtering and collecting meat. Slow process. Unlike the turkeys and the geese, like they reproduce a lot faster, so I don't mind having it open right away. Even though, again, same thing applies. The geese will not be slaughtered until it reaches 22. Same with the turkeys. We haven't got any actual turkey meat because it's still waiting for the 6 to turn to 22. But soon, we'll be getting turkeys. Alright. So I need wood and timber. So I'm going to leave like this patch right here. Because as someone pointed out earlier about having the gatherer's hut next to it, this will produce like a lot of plants. I'm gonna gather it manually, but I'm gonna have this here just so it can be growing a lot of plants. For now, I'll be gathering my trees elsewhere. Like only unless I really absolutely have to, I will cut these trees down. But there's plenty of trees everywhere else. So yeah, trees. I'm probably gonna need that area too. Year 4 and I still haven't got the traveling merchant. Okay, Astrid, you're right. Astrid said I have three animals already. What more do I want? I really want my traveling merchant. I do want the free money, yeah. Traveling merchant is just free money. There are other ways to gain money besides just cheesing the random events. But it just takes a while. Elf Off says, my guides are much appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm glad our guides like really helped out. I plan on redoing most of the guides I've done already and just updating it to the 1.0 version. Actually, that's why I haven't been uploading for a while. And thank you for the follow, Elf. That's why I haven't been uploading much, because I knew the 1.0 version was coming soon. I just didn't know when. So I'm like, there's no point in making videos if everything's gonna be obsolete. Yeah, and also thank you for the follow, Domain Feds. Welcome. My guides do still work, like generally speaking, but like there's like building names change, the UI and the interface change, so like the general concept still applies, but like it's a little outdated with like some of the smaller details, you know, and especially like the supply chain video I have. It didn't have the supply terminal that we have now. This building didn't exist back then, and on the new video I'm talking about now, it includes it. So I have a lot of things to update. You don't need to know that one. But yeah, so I do have a lot of work to do with the guides to do, so give me time for that. At least the news video that I have, it's pretty much almost done. I was just waiting for like the new update to happen so I can get like the recent footage. Alright, so now that the trees are cut, I was just waiting on my timber production because I want more homes. Gotta get that population booming. It's gonna be a huge, like once those, right now I have 22 kids. Once those 22 kids like grow up, the game speed is gonna pick up a lot, which means more resource management on that part. And let's see if I don't forget to feed them or provide something and have a shortage, because I'm really bad at multitasking. Alright, so flax is almost done. Got the pumpkins. Population 60. As this one gets a little higher, maybe in year 5, I will add a 4th field. So my laborers aren't doing anything. I'm going to send them back to gather all of these plants. Give me another seed. Hopefully I can get either oats or coffee. That's what it is. So now we have one of the changes of 1.0. 1.0 is one of the starting seeds is now coffee beans, and coffee beans is used for teas. I mean, actually, it's the tea shop, but it's for coffee, but it's for the tea shop. And then the oats can also be used at the winery. They removed the distillery. That's not in the game anymore. It's now just a winery. So the winery produces alcohol, and tea does coffee, cocoa. And so what you do with those is for the health. Health is now your drinks count towards your health. If you have just water, water gives just 10% of health, while tea and alcohol will give 20%. Because according to the game, alcohol is more healthy than water. I mean, technically it is true with, you know, back then they didn't really have clean water. So I guess I can see the logic. So speed that up. I'm gonna go ahead and open the textile mill since the flax is starting to be harvested. And then we need clothes, so I don't want any shortages. There it is! Traveling merchant! Yes! My streams do have my streams have better RNG than when I play like by myself. Like I was doing this last night, like just to like, you know, refresh my memory and all of this. I didn't get my single animal until like year 15. So I'm loving this RNG. One thing I'm gonna do, however, is I'm going to save the game right here. I'm not going to save scum and try to get like the best roll I possibly can. But there is a bug that I have experienced. It's very rare to proc, but sometimes the traveling merchant will actually not give you anything. I've actually had it once where I bought something and I got nothing. He just took my money and ran. If I reload the save and I did it again, then I'll get another item. But there has been once where I got nothing, and that was in the new it was like just before the 1.0. It was when 1.0 was an alpha that happened. So I'm gonna save it real quick. Add a new one. And hopefully doesn't happen. So, traveling merchant has come to the settlement, slowly pushing his cart and wanders around. If you pay him some silver coins, he will offer you some good foods that you have never seen before, but of unknown value. Do you want to spend the silver coins to trade for his goods? Yes. What am I gonna get? Watch me get feasts. If I get feasts, feast is the highest one. If I get feast, I basically just hit the jackpot. Alright, smoothly trading with traveling merchants, some exquisite food were obtained. Feasts. Oh, just candy. It's not bad, but the kids won't be upset now, which is actually funny. So what I'm going to do, as usual, stock management. When you go to your town details, it's also this one right here, statistics. Stock management, you can ban items for consumption. So under food, fancy food, these actually ban items. If you want to do it specifically, you can, or an entire group, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ban all fancy foods. They won't consume that. But now that the candy is being banned, when it's Halloween and they ask for trick or treat, as long as you have candy in the in your stockpile, they'll be happy. Even though they can't have it, but as long as you have candy, they'll be happy. It's really funny. But Dark Horse 1975, thank you for the follow. And how are you doing? Welcome aboard. Just in time too. I just got the traveling merchant. Refugees needed. A group of people came in. Tornado was hit. It says I need fuel to accept them, so I can't. I don't even have enough fuel to do that. So I have no choice to refuse them. So That was just gonna be like an extra like batch of immigrants, but like as an event. You didn't know that about the candy? Yeah, like as long as you have candy in your inventory here, they will be happy. So I'm gonna hold on to that until like you can see that they'll be happy, but it's a banned item. They can't consume it. Now they can't catch every little detail. So now that we have some fancy food, which I will sell off in a bit, I'm going to build the caravan. First, I like having my trading post next to my dock because they make sense to me. They're both trade. And I like having my docks next to the lake. So I'm just gonna start building, just putting like the layout here real quick. I think here's good. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just kind of like being precise. Put that pause. Don't need it just yet. I'll reopen it once. Actually, no. I think I have enough time to build it before the merchant ship. So unpause that, and then small trading post right across it. So something like that. That is true. Thank you, Astrid. On top of that, just like everything needs a storage, I'm going to build and put a storage here too. Oh, that's what you're saying. You're welcoming and people in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. That's why you gave me that. You! If only there was a way, but yeah, like you technically are like my AI companion that only I can hear. Yeah, so I guess what we can say is like you're my headset. Like my cat ear headset has an AI that speaks to me when I speak to when I stream this, and she guides me and reminds me to put storages next to my dogs. And she also interacts with the chat too. Oh my god, yes, Astra needs to be an acronym for something. Like artificial. Yeah. We'll come up with an oh, here it is. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. And then any second now. They gotta find a candy. There it is! Candy! So sweet! but they're not consuming. But they're not consuming any candy. I think that's funny. But unfortunately, I thought like there would be I thought there would be like a little bonus, like a happiness buff because there was candy, but nothing happens. It's just a flavor text. But oh well. So I need some timber. But yeah, this is why I like Forester Heights to do plant only. Look how dense that is. That is a lot of timber. Because I know like most of the time you would rush to the tree farm. But this is my tree farm right here. It takes a little slower, but it yields a lot. Like I'm just gonna do half. I'm just gonna cut down half of this, and you'll see how much that's gonna produce. It's a pretty good amount. This is just normal difficulty. This is an extreme difficulty. Just want to do a casual one. But yeah, just normal. Okay. I'm gonna add another builders here so they can construct my trading post. I'm getting impatient. I want them to finish that so I can make some money. Because people are getting injured. And I'm low on... Like, this chopping house cannot keep up domestic fuel, so I'm just gonna buy it. It actually helps a lot. Like once you get like, if you buy a good amount of domestic fuel, um, like it really helps, and like you won't run low. It's kind of weird. I guess like they just need a little bit to get started because it's like they have to produce just so they can fill up these houses. And like once all the houses get the fuel they need, it's a little easier to maintain. But as I keep expanding like more houses, it really gets a toll on my domestic fuel production. What do I think of the new interface of the game? It's like I said last time, it's an acquired taste. I wasn't a big fan of it, but as I'm playing it, I'm getting used to it. You know, I feel like a huge part of it is change. I know, like, we don't really like change, and we were really used to the old way. I still like it. And because of that, like, suddenly, like, this blue interface just hits us like that. It's like, oh no, we don't like it. It was totally like that, but it's growing on me. It's pretty. Do I completely like it? It could have some improvements. Like, I always say cleaned up some of the lines here, but that's just nitpicking. But we'll get used to it. I won't, at some point we'll probably even forget about the old interface. Alright. Now that the trading post is set, we have another batch of immigrants coming. So what I'm gonna do is instead of sending all of my laborers off to trade, I'm going to wait for another one so I can get a couple more, because if I send everybody off and then they die on the way, I feel like I've been very lucky this playthrough. I'm waiting for something unlucky to happen. So just in case they die, I don't want to lose everybody. So I'm going to wait till this batch of people come in. Okay. Did someone die? Oh, someone did freeze to death. Is that what you oofed about? Oh, okay. Yeah, someone died. It's no big deal. There's plenty of people coming. We had 24 children. In case you're wondering, like, yeah, someone did die. They froze to death. What more than likely happened was, so these injuries, there's two kinds. There's ankle sprain and a foot fracture. Ankle sprain, their movement is slow. But if there's a foot fracture, their health will go instantly to nothing. And if they're caught in the cold, they will die. So those will just die. Like, doesn't matter like how well your logistics and how close things are. All they need is one tick of damage, cold damage, and they'll just die. So the best way to counter that is to get bandages on your clinics, so they can get as soon as they get injured, they'll go to the clinic and instantly heal. Because normally, people who are injured, it takes several months for them to recover. And in those several months, if it's cold, that's it. If they could just go. So as soon as they get bandages, these guys will be healed a lot sooner. And people freezing to death because of a fractured foot, it's not gonna happen as often. So it's kind of like a you can't save them all situation. Like, someone froze, but more than likely, I've seen it before. It's I know I had a couple injuries. It was probably someone that said, "Nah, I don't need a coat." Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Or flip-flops. I mean, true. They don't have shoes, so yeah, they were out in the cold, barefooted, and then fractured their foot. Yeah, that's how they died. Makes sense. Alright. Times 10 again. I've learned my lesson to slow it down anytime I talk, because I will get distracted. And then it gets, like, too fast. So. Let's gather some of those seeds. I still haven't got the remaining seeds, so I need to focus on that. Trying to get the seeds. Again, this game is like so much multitasking because right now I want the immigrants to arrive so I can sell off my candy. I haven't forgot about that. Those two things are built. I should get the laborers back. Now I need to get some plants. I can't imagine Troll just how slow ×1 feels while you're just out of it. I can't imagine like with time dilation, just it probably feels like you're playing on 0.5 speed at that point. I don't want to go fast, I just want to go. For me, like, I feel like ×10 is too slow. I wish I had a ×20. Let's gather a little bit more wood here, now that this regrew. So it's been like a year since I got the buffalo. I've only got one, so buffaloes take a long time. This is why I have it paused. And I've been producing linen, so rough clothes. Pretty good stockpile on rough clothes, tools, so clothes were good, tools were good. Domestic fuel, this chopping house just, I wish it produced more. I remember before a chopping house used to produce like 700-800 domestic fuels a year. Now I can barely get up to 500. I really don't like that. That feels so nerfed. I know in my other playthroughs, I never had this constant domestic fuel shortage problem. Your layouts are never... Astrid recommends the water sawmill. If things get so bad, I might switch to the water sawmill. But I guess it's like legit. I mean, actually, no, you're right. Because not most of the time when I play this is a brand new seed. My forest place is actually right next to a body of water. You're right. This could actually work. Have a sawmill here. The timber gets cut down. It can put a storage right in between. That could work. Oh, the lake here? Yeah, you're right, because if the storage was here, then they have to travel further to get all the finished domestic fuel and then put it back in the houses. Thank you for that. Yeah, so my AI, Astrid, told me that I should probably upgrade to a water sawmill above here. Thank you so much. We need an acronym for Astrid. We're gonna make you an official AI. Production. Oh, so one thing I don't like about the interface is I don't like that you can't open a double stacked window anymore like you used to. I really miss that. Now we have to deal with annoying scrolling. Hopefully that gets changed. So let's do a sawmill. And here's a good spot. I actually have a really good spot because it can still be like pretty close to some homes. Oh, I was going to mention Domain mentioned my layout, that they're never that nice. Thank you for liking my layout. It's oh, my AI is already responding. But yeah, so like my layout is basically just let everything be close to each other, you know? Don't let people walk too far. Homes next to the jobs next to storage. If two production buildings are like similar, like the sawmill needs timber, so sawmill next to the timber. Flax is here. Flax puts their inventory here, which actually, speaking of, I saw the capacity is almost full. I'll do a second one. But yeah, so flax goes with the tailor, and then linen. So all of this, cluster things together and have people live close to them. Forgot to put a road here. Merchant ship is coming. Oh yeah, you're glad they kept the OG calendar. I complained in the settlement Discord so much about the calendar. Like I even did I went on Photoshop and I did a mock-up of the UI. I rearranged everything and just proved to them hey, give us a long calendar back and you can do it. And then they did it. So I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say I was the one that caused it, but I made an attempt and we got the calendar back. So here's the event again. Yeah, the lumberjack. It gave us just free timber, huh? So oh, you're right. You're right. So Astrid remembers. This event used to give you the saplings. You're right. Yeah. So the sapling was a seed for decorative trees, and they removed the sapling from the game, which makes me wonder how you get decorative trees. Yeah, you probably have to buy it with silver. So what you're saying is since they removed the sapling from the game, all they did for this event is it just gives you free timber instead of give you the sapling seed. Huh, that's 235. That's a pretty generous amount. Once it's not cold anymore, I'm gonna have to get some stone, maybe some iron, or anything nearby. Oh yeah, there's a little bit there. Yeah, there's plenty of resources still nearby. Okay, so that's done. Let's do a path here. Alright, let's see how much better a water sawmill is. 3 people. Domestic fuel. Oh, and on top of that, just so we know, it's like a even comparison. This one is also gonna have its own storage yard. Things like that will affect production. If you don't, just by placing a storage yard right next to a production building, a building will produce a lot more just because it spends less time walking. So, gotta keep the comparison even. If this sawmill has a storage right across, this one has to have one too. Merchant ship. Hopefully there's some bandages here. There's domestic fuel though. Let's do 500 of those. And I think that's the only thing I'm gonna get. If I had more money and later in the game, I would get toolkits. Toolkits are very powerful. Not only because they're the most durable tools you can give your settlers, but toolkits are also an expansion for your production buildings. For the economy upgrade. Well, what this one does is it will reduce the materials consumed for production, and it doesn't say, but it's 20%. So in this case, it takes 5 to make 10 fuel. If I had the economy upgrade, it would take 4 to make 10. I mean, that's kind of a bad example. It doesn't seem that impressive, but there's other recipes where like it takes like 20 of something, then it won't take 20, it'll take 16. And like for food, like to try to process like simple foods and fancy foods, there's so many steps in supply chains. Like you have tomatoes, and then you have to get turkeys. I'm not extra. Yeah, it's butter, turkeys, and tomatoes for the roast. For the roast. The roast turkey recipe. Archimedes, thank you for the follow. How are you doing? But as so the roast turkey has like a lot of steps. So you have to make milk into butter, and then you have to get the tomatoes, and you have all of these resources just to make a couple roast turkeys. With the economy upgrade, you would reduce how much butter, turkey meat, and tomatoes you would need. So like you wouldn't have to have so many farms. You actually require less farms, less space, less materials to make the same amount. And like the more steps something takes, like going milk to butter, like if the butter shop has the economy upgrade as well, so it's like it requires less milk to make butter. And then on the chopping house, I mean not the chopping house, and then on the barbecue to make turkey dinners is going to take less butter. So it's just it stacks. So like 20% reduction of one thing to the next, another 20%. It really saves how much materials you need to make something, and all of that is because of the toolkits. And that's like a later thing I do, but it's just something I want to point out since I got toolkits in the dock. Normally I would got excited like, oh heck yeah, toolkits. I would probably got like 200 of those. But just know toolkits, powerful thing. I would ban them and then use them for the production buildings. Heck, I can even do it for the sawmill, just so I don't have to consume as much timber just to get domestic fuel. So, you just got the game on sale and got overwhelmed. I believe so did we when we first played the game. It's a lot. It's a lot, but the more you play it, it's a trial and error game. The more you play, every mistake you make is like a lesson. Like every time you make a settlement and they all died because they either starved or they all froze to death because like no clothes. It's like the lesson you learn. On the next one, you try again and be like, all right, next time I'm gonna be a little slower on my population growth so I can keep up with food. It's a trial and error thing. I have so many failed settlements before I had a good one, so it's all part of the learning curve. All right, domestic fuel. That should help them out. Oh, unpause this so I can get some workers back. And while we're on the dock, let me quickly cover. On the bottom, there's move-in mode and prior out taking. I think that's a mistake. That should be prioritized taking out. That can be worded better. But anyways, when you have this mode, that means that your settlers will prioritize taking items out of the dock, like the things you just purchased, rather than putting items in. I don't have any items in right here, but normally I would have like either poop or fat or like excess items that I'm producing. I would put them all into the dock. And like, so if I was to have prioritized moving out, my workers will stop bringing items in and then take out all the things I bought first before moving things back in. Otherwise, the things you just bought will never get to the settlement until they finish bringing all the things in. So I really recommend putting a prioritize moving out. How much do you focus on research early in game? A good amount, actually. I'm still waiting on those immigrants. They're almost here. So once I get the immigrants, I'm going to buy paper, and I'm going to use paper on the research stations. So that way it can boost how much XP they produce. And in the beginning, if you do that, like in the very beginning, you're gonna have a lot of tech points, like that. You're gonna have like so many tech points that like you're not gonna be wondering like, oh, I don't know if I should use this, because like you're barely like have one or two or even zero. I know like a lot of it's very easy to fall into that hole of you don't have enough tech points to expand. So yeah, I do recommend investing research points in the very not research, investing in the research institute. Build that early on so you can get a lot of tech points, and then you can just have a nice, comfortable enough amount of points to spend instead of like limiting yourself. And then I take it a step forward by further powering up those research stations with paper. You'll see. As soon as I get those immigrants, the trading begins. The new thing I don't like is the bathhouse takes so much to make it now. And it has a disease cure for your immigrants. Let me take a look at that real quick. Are you talking about like the point now has the disease cure like right here, or do you mean like the bathhouse itself can cure disease? I haven't really spent too much time with the bathhouse in the newer update, to be honest. Like I have unlocked it. Yeah, because as far as I know, I'm pretty sure all they did was just move this tech point, because it used to be its own tree here, and then they took that out. But yeah, they changed. I think they changed the recipe to make a bathhouse now. I don't know if it was always bedding set, but these things I just buy them. I use trade to get the materials, and my immigrants have arrived. So, except. Yeah. You can cure disease, but now they added bedding to make it now, so it makes a lot other text. So, yeah. Or what you can do is just buy the beddings, like I'm about to do. Well, not bedding specifically, but you're right. It does take a lot of tech points to be able to produce beddings. But you can also just buy it, like selling items. Let's see how much it would have cost. So bathhouse needs 15. Let's do bedding set. Oh wait, I'm on sell, not buy. Bedding set 54. If I just need 15, that would cost me about 816 silver. So you can just buy this directly, and then you would get it, and then you bypass all the text to produce it, and you just order exactly how much you need. That's how I bypass a lot of construction materials without investing any points in actually producing them myself. I just buy them. So yeah, so Caravan. So one thing I wanted to say first, so here's the trading Caravan, and there's 4 different factions you can trade to. If you click here, when you level up each faction, they have rewards and different tiers, levels, I guess. I wonder if that's a typo, because it's usually LVL to represent level, but I guess it's level 1, level 2. You get to unlock things, and each faction has different buildings and resources you can unlock. Who I like to go for first is Meow, because level 3 you get dense farms, dense orchards, and dense forest farms. Dense farms, in my opinion, is one of the most powerful farms. It's better than the plantations. What it does is it allows you to plant 2 seeds in 1 tile, and it's awesome. So I like to work on this first, but everyone else has really good things to start with. Like not Rania, Carlos has cactus seeds in the cactus workshop that can be used to make other awesome things. Like cactus can be used to make medicinal powder instead of getting herbs to make that. So they're all really good to go for. Whichever you want to go for first, it's personal opinion or personal preference. I like to go for Meow first and go straight to Indent Farms. That's who I'm gonna trade with. Oh, one more thing. Let's spend some more tech points. So on trade, I like to get insurance in case they die. I want to be paid back. And the second one I like to do is overloader, which increases the max weight of a caravan. So those two, insurance, overloaders. Always you do, unlock those first. Well, that's what I do. So back to Meow. The carry weight went from 1,000 to 1,500, and now I have the buy insurance option. So let's sell those candies I got earlier. So 201. Let's see how much it's gonna get me. At 66.99. Does that count for nice? So that's gonna get us 13,000. So it's not a jackpot, but you know what? I'll take 13,000 silver. So let's sell that. Personally, one thing I like to sell is herbs. Prior to this update, I would never do this, but since people don't need to consume herbs to be healthy anymore, I don't need that at the moment. So I'm gonna sell like 300 of those, and it's so not bad. 2.69 for one herb is not a bad price. So let's sell some of those. You start off with lanterns, with 10 of those every game. Why, I don't know. That's just free money for me. Sell that. Raw materials. I like to sell feathers because I don't use them right away. When I start producing down jackets that requires either leather and feathers or linen and feathers, that's when I stop selling them. For now, feathers are not being used, so let's sell a couple of those too. So you can see we are already at 17,000 silver on our first trade. Construction materials. Anything else I can save or sell? I think for now that's gonna be okay. Alright, sell that. Things I strongly recommend you buy for your settlement. Number 1, bandages. When those people get injured, bandages basically insta-heal. Like, it just takes them 5 to 10 seconds, real time, to get healed instead of several months. So let's do about, I don't know, 200 bandages. And then, since I'm going to unlock the Research Institute, I'm going to power them up with paper even further. And you don't even need a tech to be able to use paper. You just need tech to be able to produce paper. So again, bypassing a tech. So I don't need to make paper. You just gotta buy it. So I'm gonna buy 500 paper, which lasts a good while. Buy those two. My domestic fuel has calmed down, so I'm pretty sure it's because I have a sawmill, a water sawmill, and the land sawmill working. What else? Beverages. I think we're good on beverages. Raw materials. Normally what I would do, so in this playthrough, I was lucky enough to get animals and flax seed. If you haven't gotten that stuff by this year 6, if you haven't gotten any of that stuff, but you're in a place to like trade, I would also just buy some alpaca wool or wool, so you can like 500 of this, so your tailor can have the materials needed to make clothes, because you don't want clothes shortages. And sometimes this game will not get you that pesky animal. It's RNG sometimes is not friendly. So that's what I advise to get: bandages, paper, and if you haven't had flax or alpacas, get the wool. Something else I should get. One thing I like to also get, I love my playstyle. I love bypassing tags anytime I can. I use trade for everything, and so I'm going to buy some sand, just a little bit, 100 sand and 100 clay, just so I can have some of those in my stockpile when I'm going to build a reservoir, because the reservoir needs, such a hard word to say. That thing needs sand and clay. So instead of using a tech point to build a sand pit, I'm just gonna buy sand and clay. Astrid, you were gonna recommend something? Oh, is there a way to just reset the resource point before you start? Yeah, the only way is to like start the map and then back out and restarting. That would be really cool if they can have a faster way to do that, because I do that sometimes. If I want the perfect start, I would like re-roll just for guaranteed seed and a guaranteed cub of alpacas too. But that's just time consuming. But yeah, that's another strategy you can do. Okay, so I think that's gonna be fine. So bandages, paper, sand, clay. That's gonna be our starting trade. One unfortunate thing is before you send this off, double check that everything is correct, because if you buy your insurance and then you hit form Caravan, you will pay for the insurance. And then if you try to be like, oh my god, I forgot to order this item or sell something, and you come back and you try to dismiss it before it leaves, you will be able to dismiss it, but you won't get your insurance money back. Someone caught that bug, and it really sucks. I didn't realize that the insurance is non-refundable. So before you send this off, double check that you have all the selling items and buying items correctly, because you will not get this money back, even if you even if you called back the caravan before it left. Hopefully they fix that. But as of now, just be mindful of that. I'm gonna play it wild. I'm gonna send 6 people, even though that increases risk of death. But I want my items as soon as possible, so I'm gonna test my luck. I'm feeling lucky with this playthrough. So, and I'm not saving it. So if they die, I'm not rolling back. So let's go. Yeah, I do. Yeah, you're right, Astrid. It does feel like they readjusted like the values, because it felt like a 3% probably felt more like a 13%. They used to die a lot more. Now it doesn't seem to be the case, even though it still does happen. But you never know. It's still possible. Okay. Population, let's see. 80 people. I think it's time for me to make another field. There we go. And let's add a road all around us. Three buffalo. Yeah, these take a long time to raise. Oh my god, no! Another traveling merchant. Another traveling merchant. I'm not even gonna save it. If I buy something and then it happens where he doesn't give me anything, I'm cool with that. That's just broken. I'm gonna roll this. Traveling merchant, yes. For 1,000. Watch this be feasts. Oh, it's more candy. You're right. I wonder if it's like Halloween themed that he's giving out candy this time. Okay. So there's people, interim housing. Let's expand their population even further. Especially now that I'm like creating more jobs in this area. Let's get some people working closer here. What? Yeah, I am a job creator. Alright, so 2 more houses here. And there goes my caravan. Okay, I like how the sawmill, I was just talking crap about the sawmill that I wasn't producing. They can barely do like 500. Last year it hit me with a 770. That looks closer to the values that I know a sawmill can normally do. Game's just messing with me now. That's not a bad thing, I'm glad, because I don't want that constant screen of low fuel notification in the middle constantly appearing. Nothing in the dock. I'll close that to get my laborers back. And is the compost booth worth it for your field? I'm going to say yes. But I'm also going to say I don't do it. Astrid, wait, what did he do? Yeah. Okay, so Astrid, what Astrid is telling me that, what she did with the compost is, with the one compost, plant, like slapped in the middle, she used the, not the standard farm, but the regular, fields, and then fit it perfectly, correct along each edge, but leaving a single tile, a row of tiles in the middle, so people can enter and exit the compost plant. And she did that where every tile was covering a field, and she did that all around, just so every field can get the boost. So yeah, it's worth it, especially when you do the fertile farms, because plantations and dense farms cannot be adjusted. The size is preset. So what she was doing is she was actually using the flexibility of the fertile farms to the advantage and just fit them each perfectly into the compost radius. And since it can be fertilized for further yields. Oh yeah, she was doing something crazy. Like she was upgrading it with the scarecrows. It was fully fertilized and it had the compost buff. Oh yeah, her yields were insane. It was yeah, so she had just with one compost plant surrounded by farms. That was enough to feed like about like 500 people. Like it was just like pretty much the same size of what I have here. Just like that much of just fields for 500. Like it was getting some crazy yields on what she was doing. So yeah, it's the and then the double harvest yeah. But yeah, the compost boost is a huge help. Okay, so we're good on materials. Oh, I forgot. My multitasking is so bad. I remember I was gonna say on the next when it's cold, I'm gonna get send people to gather some stones. Never did it. Oops. You think if I send them off now, they'll survive? I know what I can do. So I have a pretty good labor force right now. I'm actually gonna build a school. It's something I started doing. In my other playthroughs, I like, didn't care about schools. So now, I'm gonna build a school, and I'll tell you exactly what made me change my mind. Build a school right here. So one thing I learned is previously I was talking about the economy upgrade and how that boosts your that reduces your production. It reduces the resources needed on your production. One thing I noticed is that this will not work if they're not educated. I had uneducated people, and I clicked on one of my production buildings, and I was watching how much items were being produced, and I saw that it was not affected. Like for example, if it was this number was going down by 5, and I'm like, wait, it's supposed to go down by 4. And then I realized, I checked another one that had it, and it was working. The difference is that other building had educated workers, and the other ones didn't. So it's a very subtle thing that the game does not explain. I learned it out the hard way, that schools, educated workers can use the economy upgrade. If they're not educated, this will not work. I think it's kind of interesting. I like that. I was like, huh, it forced me to use schools now. Running low on trees. Let's have them cut that again. Hopefully by the time they're done with this, it'll be warm and they can collect the stones I need. Astrid, how long has the stream been going? About 2 hours exactly. Wow. Yes, I like how fast that went, because I have a lot more laborers now. Yeah. Do the plants while you're at it. Hopefully we can get another seed. Then I'm gonna start tagging stones. So I need to get this, all of that. Look at that, another seed. Ah, that's awesome. This is a very lucky playthrough. What did we got? Coffee beans. All right. Where am I gonna put the coffee beans? Because normally what I would do, I would probably put the fields, the orchards right above here, but these mountains are in the way, and I didn't realize that. Yeah, they're in the way. Crap. How many tech points do I have? 5. I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm just going to buy all of this just so I can go straight to why is this called landfill? It's called digging or something. I think that's a translation issue. I'm gonna get these tech points. Just rush straight into it. Oh, and just in time too. Just so I can remove this mountain. It's in my way. Be gone. Nice. So now it has a place for orchards. And that's the orchard. The orchards are for the coffee seeds. Because they moved that. It wasn't always in the coffee seeds, it was in the nursery, but now in the 1.0, it's orchards now. And they have their own little tree model. I think it's really cute. One thing I like to do with orchards is I like to fully employ them, but just so they can plant the seeds. The moment they're done planting the seeds. and reduce it back to like 2 people. So yes, they quickly get the seeds in, and that's it. 2 orchards, and that should be getting us some more. That should be getting us coffee, so we can start producing coffee, so they can have something better to drink, and their health can go up a little bit. Buffalo are almost there. I'm gonna open this, so it can just be once it's set up at 11, it'll be ready to start slaughtering. So it took a while. I think that took about like 3 years. I don't know if anyone remembers like at what year I got the buffalo, but that took a while. That thing's almost at 100 people, and I have the extra labor, so 1 more standard field. 1 more pumpkins. And our caravan returns, so now we have some silver coins. The clinics now have bandages. So anytime someone gets injured, they'll be quickly healed. What else did I get? I got paper. So let's build that research institute. Get all my tech points back. Research institute. Where is that? Right here. And place it right here, right next to the school. Yeah, year 7. Everything's pretty tame for now. Got some seeds, got some animals. This is the impressive part, that I'm glad I got them this soon. Light trading, gonna get the research institute up soon with paper. Hopefully by the time we get like some kind of like leather production going, we'll be able to get down jackets. Oh, that's actually a tech point first. I need to spend another tech point to unlock the advanced tailor. Oh, I already have it. I just have to upgrade it. Oh, I need planks. That reminds me, I didn't get candy again. So let's do another trade caravan. Form a caravan. Sell items, food, fruit candy. 414. This should probably have some more, a larger amount. 28,000. There you go. 28,000 for silver. I'm not gonna. Feathers. Yeah, let's sell some couple feathers. Anything else? This time, let's buy other like construction materials. So let's get some planks. 100 planks. Glass. Let's get some. I think we're good on stone and iron. Astrid, anything else you think I should get? And a merchant ship just arrived, so I'm gonna pause it. We're gonna go straight. Yeah, the bedding. Astrid recommend to get the bedding for the bathhouse. So where is that? Alright, bedding. It was 15, I remember that. Another common one is cut stone. And bricks. Actually, that went over the weight limit. I'll hold off on the beddings then. Because I think... Okay, I'll do that. Astrid recommends to just reduce how many planks I'm ordering. It won't even let me purchase it. And then lower... Okay. So... planks. Let's do 80? Oh. 90. There we go. Can I squeeze 95? I can. Alright. 95 planks, 15 beddings, and some cut stone and bricks. So again, like I'm doing this to bypass the text required to produce cut stone and bricks and beddings. Just buy them. So wait, can't forget the insurance, and let's send another 6 people, and we'll form that. And immigrants are coming. Wow, it's some pretty rapid expansion, or at least like faster than what I usually do. It's rapid for my terms. I'm usually like very slow. Oh right, the merchant ship arrived. Nothing that I would get. Don't really need flour. Don't need the maples or apples. Like I'm doing good in food. I'm just gonna let this one go. I like how it gave me the toolkits again. You know what? I'm just gonna get a couple toolkits just cause. 7,000. That's expensive. No, I'm about to get some more money, right? Yeah, I used the Caravan for some more money. It's no big deal. 7,000. Alright, just double checking. Buy that. Employ some people. Oh, I just gave away their candy. Now they're gonna be sad again. I had a feeling. I like how the ones who are actually sad are kids. It's children who have the little thought bubble. I think that's a cute little attention to detail. Yeah, because they're all in school. That's funny. That's cute. Send our laborers to get some trees. Oh. Trees. And I guess like from this point, it's kind of like up to you on what you want to do. As long as you have like your essentials, food, clothes, tools, fuel, and like a little bit of like trade setup. At this point, like you have the essentials down, and this is pretty self-sustaining as it is, as long as you're like monitoring your population and how much you're producing on food. It shows a little red here, but let's see. The end of the year is about to arrive. And this will update. Hopefully that will turn green. There it is. Back in the green, so food production is pretty well. Oh yeah, because I got the turkeys too. So as long as you monitor everything, as your population grows, all your resources, you have to produce more food, Right now we're good on clothes and stuff, but like eventually you would have to have a second tailor. And yeah. So our research institute is definitely getting us some point. Let's see how much it's gonna produce in a year. Last was 1,200. I've seen these things produce about like up to like 16,000 in a year. And 16,000 is, oh yeah, this should definitely boost. I should probably get like three tech points next year. And it's because wait, where's the paper? Oh my god, I totally forgot. You're right. It's not even accepting paper. I'm an idiot. Right here on the bottom where it says paper, I was supposed to hit check yes. Now it's getting the boost. I'm glad I caught it early on. I would have been like going into like year who knows how long, and like the paper never worked. Alright, there you go. Now it has paper again. Maybe one thing I could build is a reservoir. Oh wait, I'm waiting for the materials to come back. Oh no, I already got them, didn't I? Or yeah, so I'm gonna build a reservoir because yeah, the well is finally not catching up. So let's do a tech point here. It's now under science. It used to be under livability. They moved the reservoir to the science tab now. So let's build one of those. And a couple more houses won't hurt. There you go. Now that's a lot more like it. Now it's 3,000. Now the tech point should be rolling out a lot faster. Gonna increase this to 1,000 real quick. Merchant from the north, a caravan from the north passed by. They want beer, but I don't have any, so I have to turn it down. Oh, they were gonna offer tools. Our hardwood tools are strong enough and durable. You won't lose out in exchange for the same amount of spirits. That would have been nice. I would have like totally got those tools and just sold them. But I don't have the beer. What I could do is send laborers to try to get seeds. And that's what I've been doing with the forester hut. Like as soon as this thing had a dense forest, I've been having it I've been making it produce like all this excess plants and then making them gather it. So yeah, it's kind of slow at this point. Like, I'm just slowly expanding. Got students in school. So yeah, this is I guess how you have a stable settlement in the first couple years in the beginning. They have all their basic needs taken care of. Yeah, I guess at this point, like, if there's any questions, anyone in the chat, Any other suggestions or questions you'd like me to answer at this point? Because this is what I consider like early game. Like, I guess like after this point, what I would start doing is upgrading my farms, doing setting up fertilizer, compost plants. I would probably be purchasing better quality animals. I'd probably get either an alpaca, and not an alpaca, a sheep, because they produce more wool. And I would just start just upgrading the quality of stuff like that to increase their happiness and health. How fast do you usually build houses? Should I worry about how many people want houses? Don't worry too much. Like right here, it says 12 citizens want houses. When you expand, like more population means more labor, which is you get to do more stuff, but that also puts more pressure on your demand for resources. So growing too fast, you can lose control very quickly. So, but growing too slow makes the game too slow, and you don't have enough laborers to cover all the jobs you're providing. And on top of that, if you're not growing fast enough, over time, people will age and they will just die. And if you don't have like children growing, entering the workforce, they're not going to be able to outpace the death rate. And that's another thing that goes on, that you have to handle, like the birth rate and the death rate ratio. Like on the bottom it says like where it says underage, like there's 35 kids, and then there's 4 old people. So right now it's more than fine. There's definitely have a large population that's going to replace the older workers, but like around like year probably like 15 to 20, that might begin to be a problem where more people are getting old. So there's a balance between how fast you grow. Too fast consumes too much resources. Too slow, and now your birth rates is not going to catch up with the death rates. So so yeah. So this is the population graph, again found in the statistics tab. This shows your population. So there's children, adults. It doesn't show old people, but you can change how far this can go. So when you have a lot of children, like if you have a huge spike of children coming, that means you're gonna get a birth wave or a population boom. When you start seeing your children line start to dip, you have to be cautious of that. That means there's not a lot of kids incoming, and as the game progresses, like all these adults are still growing up. So this population graph is a good way to visually see how you're doing. And you just have to check the children line. Like, keep it at a good not too high, not too low. Again, if it's too high, then you're gonna have a population boom like crazy. And if you run into shortages, it's like, yeah, your population went out of control. So it's a weird balance you have to play with this. In my playthroughs, throughout when it's like year over 100, this line kind of looks like a wave, and like you really want it to be as steady as possible. Don't let it get too low, don't let it get too high. If it gets low, build a couple more houses. There's like a lot of other things you can do to deal with old people. Like there's nurseries, I mean not nurseries, there's nursing homes. There's nursing homes that you can build, and that's gonna house old people so they move out, because you won't start families if the kids are still living with their parents. They need to have their own place to start families. So I have a wave of immigrants that just arrived, and I have room on my apartments, so I'm going to accept them. $27 people. For me personally, in the beginning, I go for like rapid expansion. I think like around the like 150 mark is when I start to slow down. Like, I'm not gonna build too many more houses after this. I have enough laborers, and you don't also want to have too many laborers because that means they're all unemployed. If you have like a lot of laborers, that actually is a good indication that you have room to build more buildings and create more jobs. Eat that up. So I have 5 tech points. Not bad. Astrid, anything else I should focus on before I wrap this up? Because I'm pretty sure I got the beginning down. This is from here. It's I can go any direction now. Yeah, this is yeah. This is basically how you sort of your settlement. All the needs are taken care of. Yeah, so Astrid said, like, at this point, what's really left is just up to you. It's when you start going down tech trees and seeing what interests you, and, you know, just providing better quality goods and services. You know, you can go bathhouse, you can start going theater. I never got the drinks. Am I producing the coffee seeds? Orchards take a couple years to start yielding goods, but if I kept this going, I would build the tea shop so I could start using the coffee. I never got the oat seed. I just saw I need a couple more trees. So I'm gonna cut half of that down. But I never got the oat seeds, and you need oats to make beer. And those could have been another thing I could have gone for to boost the drinks. I never did I'll do this real quick. I'll use the latrines because I have the excess labor force, and it's not gonna really it's not gonna hurt not to have them. So latrines, they do a little coverage zone, and it's just gonna provide a health bonus to everyone in here. So the latrines coverage is kind of small, so I like to just have 2 on each corner, like right here. So every house is covered. And once those things are up, I will get the 10% health boost here. And I'll have a small production of poop as well. It's kind of weird how this works. No one actually uses the latrine. Like, no one goes to it. It just produces it just produces poop on its own. And Herbie Nerd, thank you for the follow. So I'm just gonna put like 1,000 here. Thank you for the follow. I hope you've been having a good time. Thank you. I like how someone's starving. Did you see that? Like, there's someone starving real quick. It's gone, but because that person was working too hard that they forgot to eat. Actually, like right now, I'm pretty hungry. That's why I want to wrap this up. Like, that's literally me right now. Like, if I had like a little icon over my head right now, it'd be the little hungry one. Yeah, a little hungry. So again, my playstyle is very micromanagey. You can always build a gatherer hut. Like, I would recommend put a gatherer hut next to a dense forest here, and then these people would just be gathering these seeds on their own instead of manually doing it. And what's another thing that could have been oh yeah, the forests or huts, if you turn on felled trees, they will be cutting those trees on their own as well. So that's the cool part about this game, is just personal playstyle. Like you can do micro or macro management of the game. Eventually, like as my tech progresses, like once I have tree farms and nurseries, everything's automated for me. You're very welcome, Chirpy. Um, but this is just the first couple years I'm just demonstrating, so it's very slow here. I like how another turkey was found by a hunter. I just waiting alpaca. So there's 4 animals you can get in the very beginning. There's geese, turkey, buffalo, and alpaca. Those are the 4 animals you can find. After that, animals are acquired through trade. Like the merchant ship will either, there's a small chance that a merchant ship. Oh wow! Speaking of which, I swear if this thing has animals, this is the luckiest stream. If it comes from the ship, it's like discounted price, or you can order them directly. Okay, there's no animals here. So, sometimes a merchant ship will bring animals and seeds, and that's how you get the remaining seeds. Do I need anything here? Medicinal soap. I already have the cut stone. I'll get a couple steel. Just so I can have steel later on. So ceremonial bread, it's for the churches, I think. Oh, and it's also simple. It's it's also simple food. You can also eat it. So ceremonial bread is a new food that you can, is a simple food or consumption to boost the happiness of churches. Communion wafers go burn. Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, let's get my steel. So I know I got like a lot of my trade and a lot of my silver from the traveling merchant, and that is just a base off of luck for him to arrive. Another good source of early game trading materials is actually clothes. There's my trailer. Clothes and tools. It's pretty easy to provide, and you know, once you have an excess, you can just sell that off. Let me go to trading caravan. Sell clothes. Oh, there's no actual clothes. Value rough clothes. If you can like just sell off like 500 excess, like it's a small thing, like 3,000. Tools. Crap. Iron tools. If you like sell 500, like oh, tools actually sell better than rough clothes. All of this stuff like little adds up. Like you can sell tools, you can sell clothes. Those are the 2 like definitely the earliest game things I would recommend to sell. There's also the tech trees. The trade, you can unlock the pottery using sand and clay and refined fuel. You can make a porcelain, and that's a pretty good trading item as well, even though it's going to take a couple resource points, because you're going to need coal, which is going to require a mining place. So it's mining and then refined fuel to make porcelain. But yeah, those are my suggestions on starting early trade. Like any excess you have as well, also good forms of trading goods. So you don't have to like rely on the traveling merchant, because I do get that comment a lot, like what are other trade options, because all I do is just events and traveling merchant. So excess clothes, excess tools, just slowly over time, just sell those. those are really good alternatives if you don't get lucky enough to get the merchant. So one thing I'm gonna do right here on the dock, I've been producing finally been producing a good amount of poop. Poop doesn't sell for much, but you do produce it anyways. So what I like to do is store excess, like cheap excess things that get made a lot into the dock. Since they don't sell for much, it's a good trading alternative. So like say a merchant ship comes in and they have items you want to get. Instead of paying it directly with silver, you can actually mass sell some of your excess items like poop. Other alternatives is fat or feathers, anything like you're producing a lot that you're not using in your settlement. You can just put in here and trade these, so it's not as expensive to buy with silver. Just little trading tips. I like how a flood coming. Am I waiting on anything? What am I really doing? Besides explaining the early game. I think I'm overproducing pumpkins. I saw that this storage yard is pretty full. Send them to the docks, yes. Anytime you have an excess of anything, just send it to the dock. So, how long is the stream running for? 2.5 hours. All right. Because yeah, like since I put this on YouTube, I don't want that to get too large, anyways. One more time, if there's anyone left in the chat has any like final questions or anything, I can answer them. If not, I think I'm just gonna wrap this up here. Now that I've showed the beginning. You're very welcome, Archimedes. I'm glad this was helpful. And I need to get back to work on all those guides. I have to redo the logistics videos. I have a trade video that I wanted to do for the longest time too, but it kept changing things. You'll go watch from the start. Yes. And then I have to I'm gonna try to get this uploaded on YouTube as a rerun for those who missed the beginning. I'm probably gonna get that done by this weekend, so probably on, well, depending on where you are in the world, it probably already is Friday. If it's not Friday, probably Saturday. So yeah. And I also want to say thank you so much to everyone who stopped by and said hi. I really appreciate this. Thank you for the activity and interaction in the chat. It's that was awesome. This was really fun to do. Also, like, if you guys want me to continue live streaming and work on take this settlement to like mid level, I mean mid game, right? That's what they call it. Like there's early game, mid game. I could probably do that, like show you what mid game would look like from this point on. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Lady Overwatch. You're having a great night too. But yeah, I can definitely continue this playthrough. I had some really good lucky rolls here. And I can probably take this to produce simple foods, fertilize my farms. Hopefully I can get the dense farm too. There's a lot I can do here, so maybe I can continue this playthrough. Yes, please. All right. I'll as soon as I make more progress on making the other guides, I'll pick this settlement up. So it's pretty exciting. I'm glad this game finally released on 1.0. hopefully the big updates are now calming down, so my videos don't get made obsolete because they made a huge game-changing update. Because like health and happiness was, it made all the old saves unplayable. That really sucked. So 1.0 finally, it's, I can go full speed with the content. So yeah, that was the first 10 years. That's cool. So okay, so I guess around this time is I'm gonna start putting the links. So again, thank you everybody at the stream. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate this. Astrid, my friendly AI in my head, will post in the chat a link to my YouTube channel, so you can stay up to date with my future content that I will actually finally make now. I have no excuse, so they will be coming for sure. And a link to my Discord channel in case you have any more questions. You can join Discord. I'm highly active there, and you can ask me any questions you have in your playthroughs, late game, or any questions. Ask me there, and I will respond. And it's also a good way for you guys to be up to date on how future content is going and when future streams will happen. So my AI cannot find the links. It's in the Discord channel under the welcome screen. Oh, my AI is glitching out. Oh, there we go. My AI got the links. So yeah, that's the link to the Discord channel. You can join there. Astrid and I are active there. We can answer questions regarding the game. And then there's gonna be the YouTube link where AI is being a little slow on the YouTube link. It's not on queue. It's, I don't have a YouTube link. You can just go to YouTube. Yeah, just steal it off YouTube. I did do a custom URL. It's actually, oh my god, I'm an idiot. I totally forgot that my it's literally on the it's on the layout of the stream. The stream overlay. That's why we never did the YouTube link. It's already there. It's been a while since I've done this. I totally forgot my own overlays. Alright, AI, that was on me. So, YouTube link is already on the screen. Chat, sorry. Moonlight, wow. It's been a hot minute since I've seen you around. Yeah, it's been a year since this game's been out. But I'm wrapping things up, so thank you for stopping by, Moonlight. Hope you've been having a good one. But yeah, this is dragging on so long. If you're on YouTube, I'm probably gonna skip all of this. But thank you all for watching, and I'm hungry. So hope you guys have a good night or good morning, depending on where you are. And I will be seeing you on the next one. Bye, guys.